Good morning, everybody. Trying to come on real quick. I want to talk a little bit about some of the things some of you saw my video about attacking your arguments, changing your thought process, especially when you have those negative core beliefs, learning how to restructure your cognitive process, the way you think about things, the way you see things. And one of the reasons why I do that is because I understand the power of having a renewed mind and having a different perspective on things in life, so you won't be held captive by your thoughts. And I talk to many people in my profession who are held captive by their thoughts, just the thought. And so my thing is, a lot of times I think about what happened in the garden with Adam and Eve when they came into the knowledge of good and evil, and they felt ashamed. They had the spirit of shame and guilt on them. But we can learn from that, because God asked them when they said, we're naked, because they were hiding because of the guilt and shame. They were hiding. And God said, well, who told you were naked? Like, how did you become aware of that? He knew, but he was just trying to question them. But we can learn from that, because a lot of times somebody told us something, or somebody did something to us that made us feel guilt, or walk around with guilt and shame and the spirit of condemnation. And because of that spirit that is subject, that is underneath the fear and the insecurity, it actually kept you back from progressing in life, and from achieving certain things, and from living in your purpose and on your purpose, and from building relationships and healthy and good relationships, because of a thought, because of a bad seed that somebody planted in your spirit. So because of that, you don't allow yourself to live, and to live with intention and purposeful. And so you end up self-sabotaging your own success in life. And so that's why I want to talk about the thought process so much during these last 2 weeks, is because it hurts me to see people who are crippled by something that somebody said or something that somebody done. And so in their mind, somebody told them they can't do this and they can't do that. And so they actually believe it. That's their core belief, that they believe that they can't do this. So one of the things that has helped me in life achieve some of the things that I wanted to achieve and I've dreamed of is because I don't listen to the naysayers. And always I'm kind of rebellious because of that, but in a good sense. I don't listen to the no. Everything that I have acquired in life thus far is because I didn't listen to the no, or the self-defeated thoughts, or those critical internal thoughts that I may have. Not necessarily because someone told me that, but that's from our own insecurities growing up. And a lot of us battle with that as we grow up and we develop in our adolescence, but then some of us come to a stage where we no longer live in that, or that becomes part of our lives. We emerge from that. And then some of us, we stay captive to those insecurities and those fears and those doubts and that spirit of self-condemnation. But I'm so glad that I didn't, because it puts me in a position today to be able to help somebody else know how to overcome those thoughts and those feelings. I didn't battle with it so deep that it crippled me, but I do understand self-defeated thoughts. I have battled with self-defeated thoughts and having a critical voice in my head saying, well, you can't do that and you can't do that. But I also dealt with it coming from the outside. I'm outside, so you might hear a little noise. I don't know if you can hear me. Coming from people on the outside, I dealt with that. Well, people say, well, how do you do this and how are you going to do that? Let me tell you, everything I said that I have gotten in life that worked out in my favor is because I didn't listen to the no. I remember even looking for like apartments or different things when I was trying to find something within my budget, after my divorce and just me and my daughter. And, because I had a low budget, I'm like, okay, I got to find something. But I remember hearing people say, well, you're not going to find an apartment for that price, or there's nothing out here. I never listened to that. Number one of the reasons why I don't also too is my faith in God. And he promised that he would give us favor with himself and with man. And so because I held on to his word and his thoughts that superseded my own thoughts and anybody else's thought, I had enough of that foundation to understand that you don't have the last say. And God can do the impossible. So you need faith and works together. Faith and works together. And so because of that one experience, I've always found an apartment that I could afford in a nice area. So that's because I didn't listen to the other people's thoughts and other people's rationale and a lot of times people would tell you stuff out of their own fear and own security. So again, that's part of attacking the position of the person. They're coming from a position of their own fear and insecurity, and sometimes they don't even realize it. So you can ask the question, well, why do you think this? Because, and give them the information of why you asking that. My information would be, well, because I believe God's word and he says he'll give us favor and he owns everything. He can orchestrate moves. Why would I just believe that I can't get anything? That would help me. That would have helped me captive, me and my daughter captive, from living in a nice area where most of the rent was higher than what we were paying, but God always gave us favor. So I understand also too what it is to live by favor, the favor of God. And a lot of times you don't get to experience that until you find yourself in a place where you have nowhere to go. The situation is bigger than yourself. Your back is up against the wall. And sometimes you need those experiences so God can show himself mighty and show himself strong in your life. So you can go through that trial and tribulation, but then you come out strong and you come out looking like you have not been through anything. Everything is intact. Your shoes intact. Your hair is intact. Everything is intact because in that time of favor, God blessed you. People have given me into my bosom things that God would just draw them. Like, God, I know that's you. I know that's you. So because of that experience, I can't listen to the no. I just can't, because I've seen God move mountains. I've seen God parted water. I had those type of experiences. So my faith is already there. So I'm encouraging you to do, change your not only your perspective, but learn to change your perception of where you are. And one way of doing that is building up your faith. So get into that word. There's some stories in that Bible. I remember hearing T.D. Jakes say, y'all need to cut them soap operas off and get into some stuff in this book. There's some experiences in that Bible. These are real people who went through some real battles and stuff. And if you believe God is real, let me tell you. So just like he did